So brands really stand out to me when they are completely honest about what they want straight off the bat. Like when they come to me with a plan, this is what we want you to promote, this is what we'd like you to do, this is an idea we've had. Like there's no kind of beating around the bush, just when they're direct, and also when they're friendly. I'd say also when you can tell it's been written by a person, like they've spoken to you by name and they've said something specific that they love about you, and they've said why they want to work with you as well, and not just because, oh, you've got 1 million followers. You definitely need to know who you're talking to before you approach them, because it is really obvious from the get-go. And I'd say the biggest thing here actually is more of a don't than what to do. Whatever you do, don't use those automated bots on Instagram. Like they either automatically message you or they automatically comment on your photo saying DM us or anything like that, because it's so impersonal. And also this whole affiliate program thing that where you have to buy something of theirs in order to get, and you get like a big discount and then you get a discount code where you can make commission. No, that it comes across as really scammy. And as part of that, the biggest thing you can do is talk to us respectfully, because obviously you're wanting to work with the influencer, so you've got to respect what they do. And I'm not saying, whoever you are, that you're not doing this. I'm just saying I've experienced it personally, where brands have approached me with, it doesn't necessarily have to be like if they can't afford very much, like as long as they're polite, but brands have approached me with ridiculous offers, and brands have approached me as if they are helping me, when that just comes across really rude. And if you're approaching someone to work with them, then hopefully you can help each other, but ultimately you're buying a service, so don't try and phrase it as if you're helping them, like you're seeking the help from them. I feel like when it comes to the brief of what you want done, definitely have a clear idea, like I said in my first point, like have an idea of what you want to achieve and a kind of framework, but you also need to allow the influencer to mold that slightly to go with their audience, because that's how you're going to get the best response, because they can just do exactly what you want to do in exactly the way to do it, and it might not normally go along with their brand, but they're going to be less inclined to want to kind of post that and push it, and also their audience isn't going to respond to it well. So having a clear-cut idea of what you want to achieve and even how you want to achieve it, but allowing that flexibility for the influencer to make it their own is really paramount, I'd say. Do brands understand the power of TikTok? Yes and no. There are some brands that have cottoned onto it, most definitely, but there are so many brands that haven't even considered it yet. They're still pushing Instagram and pushing YouTube, and that's all well and good, but TikTok has the power to reach so many more people for kind of a less of a budget than you would pay for a YouTuber or an Instagrammer for the same price. Like the same level of followers on Instagram and YouTube, that person with that level of followers on TikTok will usually be cheaper than Instagram and YouTube, and you could potentially even reach more people. So it's a very powerful tool. Also, this is where that flexibility comes in, because there are new trends, new hashtags, new trending music on TikTok every week. So if your campaign could somehow fit into one of the trends, it's likely to catch so many more people outside of the influencer's follower base as well as within. And one thing to keep in mind as well is if you want some specific music with your TikTok, or if your product you're pushing is music, that's awesome. And especially if that can be tied in with a current trend, then it will do okay. But be aware that any forced music on your campaign, any forced music on your campaign, any music you're making the influencer use that isn't currently trending won't do as well as the trending music. It can if you still involve a different kind of trend, like a dance trend or a hashtag trend or a challenge. So I would say make sure you're using one of those two things for the best success on the app. Either trending music, which normally works best with kind of product placement and things like that, or if you're using a specific music or specific sound, then link it in with one of the other trends instead, or challenges.